Hello there everybody, welcome back to the Railway. Today you're joining me here on my workbench for another review. Today's review is of a Bachmann DMU. Now this is one I've been after for quite a while. So when I nipped into a local model shop recently and I saw one on the side, I couldn't resist. So, some of you guys might know, I am a large fan of the BR Sprinter family. I'm going to move some of this out of the way because it's quite a big box. And you also know that I've got quite a collection of GWR units. So I've got an HST, I've got a 158, so on and so on. Anyway, I saw this in footplate models of Kidderminster, so huge shout out to you guys. I couldn't resist. This is the Bachmann Class 150. It's in the GWR livery, and it's a 2-car DMU set, as you can see. So where to start with this? Well, Bachmann haven't produced this for a number of years. When it came out, I couldn't afford it, and it sold out pretty quickly, to be honest. I think the GWR livery is a lovely one, and it's evidently pretty popular. This cost me £248. It's listed at 250.71. I managed to get him down to 248, which is pretty good, I suppose. Cheaper than anywhere else I could find it that had it new. Not many places did. I spoke to the guy in the shop. He said that they do have some more at the back, but they're not listed on Footplate's website. So maybe if you're in the area, drop in if you're after one and see if he's got any left. Anyway, I think we shall get this out because there's no point having this sat on the workbench. So I'll show you the end of the box. If you can see that, this is 32-940. It's Class 150/2, 2-car DMU, 150-216, GWR green, first group, so it's not the old GWR, with fitted passenger figures, and that is a pretty cool feature. Because I haven't got any DMUs or coaches with fitted passenger figures. It's also a 21-pin DCC socket if you want to chip it, and I believe you'd only need the one decoder because I think there are electrical connections through the coaches. So let's get this out, shall we? This is my first time. I haven't had this out the box yet. We shall zoom out a little bit. I haven't had this out the box yet, so this is my first time. I presume this is standard Bachmann DMU packaging. So pop the box down there, and we've got two sub boxes, as it were. This is the heavier one, so I think we'll do so presumably that's the powered car. We shall do the dummy car first. So there it is. I shall get this out. This appears just to be in sort of standard Bachmann top packaging. Yep, so there's no paperwork with this one, but there is a detail pack I can see. So pop the box down there. That wasn't as harsh as it sounded. And we shall get this out. Apologies for the mess in the background, I've just had to clear up some stuff I was working on. Right, there it is. That looks quite nice in there, doesn't it? So, before we do that, let's have a look, see if I can take a look, see what's in this detail pack. Oh. Right, so it's all sort of, there we go. So, we've got, these are things, we've got some snow ploughs, or obstacle deflectors. We've got some BSI couplers, which are really nice, I like those. Functioning, the NEM ones and the non-functioning ones. We've got some screws, a conductive coupler and a speaker enclosure. So that's pretty good. I will be fitting the, what's it called? BSIs though, so it can run with my 158, which has got those. So, I'll pop this other powered cart down out the way, and we can get this out. So, does it open down there? Yes it does. Ooh, there we are. As you can see, by my excited, or here rather, by my excited ooh, that is a rather nice finish. This out, yeah, this is, wow, that's nice. This is definitely the dummy car, but wow, I mean, what a finish. I mean, the livery itself looks nice, right, but when it's applied with this sort of level of gloss finish, it just becomes something different, doesn't it? It's just something special to this. Yeah, that is nice, and as you can see, we've got loads of separately fitted underframe detailing. Nice picked out bits there. Yeah, very nice this. I'll have to get this out and running obviously in a minute, get it up on the white background. For now though, I'm going to pop that there. And I'm liking the passenger figures inside as well. And we can take a look at the powered car. So presumably this will have some instructions. Yes it does, yeah. No detail pack with this one, but there is paperwork. Who doesn't love a bit of paperwork? Right, so what do we have here? We've got, pop that down there, product maintenance and care. There you go, so it's sort of like your basic stuff. They've got a bit about product warranty and Bachmann Collectors Club and a service request form. And then we've got sort of one of these sheets of paper There you go, a little bit about decoder fitting. We've got mechanism, body removal there, which is quite good. Bit about the DCC fit. Does this show how all the parts go together? Yes, it does. There you go, you can see all that. And yeah, that looks pretty nice. So it says the snowplow can't be fitted if the end couplings are to be used, which isn't as good as their 158, where that isn't the case. Anyway, this is incredibly heavy, so we shall get this out. And I'm hoping to see some die cast on this one, because, as I say, 250 quid is a lot of money for what is essentially just a loco and a coach. But anyway, wow, yeah, the finish on that one is just as good as the other one, as you can see. That's exactly what I'd hope for. Anyway, ooh, crikey, that's heavier than I thought it would be. Right, pop that Vista pack down there and take a look at this. Wow. I'm guessing that's our powered bogie then. But yeah, that's really nice, that is. We do have some interesting something going on in that window. As you can see, there's no actual interior in that bit, so that's not too good, and I can see the decoder through the window. But other than that, that looks really, really good, that. So yes, we have the Bachmann Class 150. 2-car DMU. So I reckon we shall get this up onto the white background, and then we can get it up onto the layout and see how it performs. So let's crack on. So here we are then, up on the white background with the Bachmann GWR Class 150. I've just put the powered unit up here for now. I'll get the other one up in a minute. But first of all, I just want to make a couple of points. First of all, the RRP for this model is £324.95. And I'd like to start by saying that this model is in no way is it worth that much money. At most, you should be paying about £250 like I did. And that's really if you want one. If you're not particularly bothered and just want a DMU to run, there are much, much better options. So there's quite a few little silly little gripes about this model, which in my opinion make it definitely not worth the £324.95 price tag. And I'm going to go into those right now. So if we turn the model around, you can see that here in the side of the model, there isn't actually any interior. As you can see here, the interior has just been sort of this grey block, painted with the outline of blue seats. My guess is that this is the motor housing or something inside, but considering that the dummy car doesn't have this, and the powered car in the rest of it doesn't either, this is not a good look in my opinion. Something that is nice about this though is that Bachmann have tried to make it a sort of user-friendly and a bit better value by fitting passenger figures. That's good. On the downside though, there is absolutely no driver figure, so we've got loads of passengers but without a train manager or driver. That's an interesting choice. You can also see the 21-pin decoder through the window. If you look here, you can just about see the pins. This isn't a good look. Personally, Bachmann, for £325, more or less, I would have expected better. It's not the best. Just to finish off the gripe section really, I thought I'd mention that you cannot fit the front valance if you're going to use a coupling. Not least if you're going to use these tension locks. These tension locks will just hit the front valance. Bachmann have supplied some prototypical non-functioning BSI couplers, and those will work fine with it. However, if you intend to use the functioning BSI couplers that fit in the NEM pockets, these will also hit with the front valance. This is not a good design decision, especially since their Bachmann GWR Class 158, which costs less, has a feature that allows you to do this. Not great. Aside from those though, and those really are basically the only complaints with the model. The finish on here is absolutely outstanding. As you can tell, it's this really sort of dark green gloss effect that just gives it a superior quality. It's really, really nice as well, especially since you've got these matte bands. I know this is the GWR livery, but still I think it looks absolutely superb. As I briefly touched on before, as you can see we've got loads of fitted passengers inside here. This is a really good value option, and I do think Bachmann have done the right thing by doing this. It does make that £324, or in my case £250, hurt a little bit less. However, in my opinion, they should have included driver figures. As I say, I briefly touched on this before. They used to fit them in some of their cheaper and less expensive diesels, such as the Peaks and the Class 37s. Why not fit them in the DMUs? You know, it's, what, a couple of pence extra. I mean, it can't be that bad. Bachmann is a multi-million-pound company. I'm sure they can afford for 20p for a passenger figure, or driver figure I should say. On the front end of the model we've got these nice lighting clusters. I assume they're going to work. I'll be pretty disappointed if they didn't. We've also got this GWR lettering on the front door here. That looks really, really nice. It's very, very crisp, especially since it's in quite a sealed away area. It doesn't look awfully realistic without the front valance, but as I said, if you're going to use couplings, you can't actually fit that, which is really crap, to be honest. You can see in the top corner, it's slightly out of focus on the camcorder because it's rubbish, but there is a destination blind reading Penzance, which is where I've seen these units before. I'll put a video to my put a link to my Penzance video up in the top corner if you want to see some 150s. You know, they run all around Cornwall and Devon and stuff. And you can see just beneath it there is the running number 150216. Interestingly, I believe 150216 has already been produced by Bachmann, but in the previous First Great Western colours. Doesn't make any sense to me why they didn't just choose another First Great Western Class 150/2, but they didn't, so that's that really, I guess. On the crew door here, you can see there's loads of printing on the windows. We've got these sort of no smoking tabs on here, along with these like lifting jack prints and these door buttons and overhead warning flashes, and especially with all these highlighted details as well. These look really, really nice. These handrails around the door too, these are separately picked out. I do believe they're separately fitted, and as you can see, they must be made of metal because they're pretty strong indeed. There's absolutely loads of Tampo printed details down the side of the body. We've got the Great Western Railway branding, we've got the overhead warning flashes around the top, we've got these door plungers, we've got all of these safety warnings and stuff on the side. There's absolutely loads, and I can really see how this would be an expensive unit to produce. That said, I still don't think this is worth £325. Thought I'd give a quick mention to all of the underframe detailing. This is all separately fitted and a lot of it is painted as well. This is an absolutely fantastic touch from Bachmann, and it's very much similar to some of the other DMUs like the Class 158 I've got in the collection. Here we are at the back end of the model. As you can see, we've got this sort of kinematic inter-vehicle coupler with these electronic connections on. This is quite flimsy, but hopefully the other one won't be too bad, and hopefully it'll all go together quite nicely. There's not too much really to see around the back end. We do have this nice gangway door. This is separately painted, as you can see, and glazed. There's a little tiny bit of separately picked out detailing on there too. There is a quite nice rivet pattern on the gangway doors there as well. Those look quite nice. And rather interestingly, Bachmann have decided to have an exhaust pipe which goes nowhere. It's nice that it's separately fitted, but as you can see, it sort of ends, which is something on their Class 158 they addressed. They had some separately fitted parts in the detail pack you could put in there to extend it and make it look as if it actually went somewhere. But no, this one just sort of finishes in mid-air, as you can see. Not the best touch, Bachmann, especially since your 158 is slightly cheaper than the 150 now. On the other side as well, you can see that there is quite a lot of detail missing from the inside. This is again down to that motor housing, which in my opinion they should have just avoided. Do what they've done on the 121, 158 and a lot of their other DMUs, and just sort of have a low profile motor on the underside of the chassis. Not the best touch, Bachmann, but at the end of the day it could be worse. Quick look at the dummy car then. This one I have fitted the front end valance to, and I've also fitted this BSI coupler. This is the NEM version, the one that works. If I lift this up and turn that bogie, you can see that it sort of hits the extremities of the front end valance. So I'm not too convinced about how well that's going to work. But Bachmann have supplied it, I've seen other people do it. We'll see. If it causes loads of derailments, I'll just have to take it off and live without. But otherwise, detailing is more or less the same with this one. I have noticed there is a slightly different seating arrangement around this window, which is nice to see. If I turn it around a bit, that you can see that a little bit better. But other than that, yeah, more or less the same. We've got a similar flimsy coupling on the end of the coach, as you can see. This is not the best or most sturdy coupling in the world. As you can see, it's also just jammed. But so we shall see how that goes. And we've also got another exhaust pipe, which is going to nowhere. But other than that, they are more or less the same. And something I have just noticed is the incredibly fine TOPS information panel on the back of the coach there. Anyway, other than the passengers and being able to see all the way through this one, there's not too much different. So I think we might as well get them up onto the layout and see how they perform. Right, so here we are up on the layout. In case you couldn't see, I'm here. They are sat over there by the station. So I haven't tested these yet, I have not run them, but I have gone ahead and fitted the bar couplings to this one at least, and as you can see, it keeps getting stuck. Anyway, I haven't attempted to couple these, so this will be the first time coupling, but I thought I would see if it's as easy as Bachmann have made some of their other locos. So for example, the Windhoff MPV, just slide the two together, goes together nicely, they sort of lock into each other, sort of like a USB type coupling. Really nice and simple. Again, 158, a little bit more complex because it's got a load of pins you need to connect, but it's more or less the same. Anyway, I thought we would see what this is like. So, straight away I've noticed a problem. You might have seen that in the detail section actually. the bar coupling droops down. So both of the sockets droop down. So I'm going to have to get my hands in, so apologies, because you can't really see this very well. Apologies. I'm going to just try and couple the two, but as you see, if I just run the two together, it just doesn't couple. So, no, don't get me wrong, I don't think it should be easy to uncouple them, but I think it should be easy to couple. So what I'm going to have to do is take the two off the track, and in case you couldn't see, that's what we're sort of working with. It's a NEM type socket, I believe. So I'm just going to, with electrical connections as well, to make it even more challenging to push the two together. So I'm now just out of shot, just coupling them up to make it into a single unit. But yeah, Bachmann haven't done the customer any favours at all with this connection. It's a stupid dated design, in my opinion. It does not make coupling them up and disconnecting them easy by the looks of things. Anyway, we are now coupled, so we shall re-rail it all, and then we can give it its first run. But it's all right at the moment, I would say. It's just about worth what I paid for it. If the performance is good, that will go up. Anyway, we're on the analogue because it's not DCC fitted. Does it work? Haven't run it, so turning up slowly. And straight away, yes it does. Ooh, and it's got interior lighting as well. Very nice. That is very smooth. Bachmann say this is powered by a 5-pole motor. But if we turn this up a little bit, that is moving. I kid you not, that is actually moving. It is definitely moving, that, yeah. We do have lighting, but it's not on. It is on now. Interior lighting. And in fact, we have just derailed. Which bogie is that that's derailed? Ah, interestingly, that's the front bogie, where that front valance has been fitted. I've only fitted it to one end. Well, I think it looks so much better with the valance. Run it back past again. Shall we try and do another crawl? There you go, that's moving. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I'm very pleased with that. No destination blind lights like the 158 had, which is a shame. I don't know about these door interlock lights in the middle though. The 158 had those that lit up. But either way, this isn't a 158 review. This is a 150 review, and it's very nice loco. Let's try crawling in the other direction. Is that as slow as we can get it? Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm going to crack on, get this running, and then I'll come back to you in about an hour. Half an hour in each direction or so, and we'll see what we think. Alright then, so it has now finished. It's running in, and I'm just slowing it down, so don't too much. So, here she is, the Bachmann 150. Performance on this isn't too bad, I'll be honest with you, but to be honest, there's one little gripe that I have noticed. It probably won't come across very well, and that is the interior lights. And in fact, all the lights on the dummy car are not as bright or as reliable as the lights on this one, the powered car. So the powered car lights, if I hold this back a bit because there's plenty of torque, so they're quite bright. If I let this one come in, you can see they're nowhere near as bright. And in fact, as it runs along, the light on this unit flicker. Not sure why. Presumably that is an indicator that there must be no capacitor in series with it, because it does that. It does flicker on and off, and to be honest, I'm not dreadfully impressed with that for £250. So maybe that is a modification I should make. I'm thinking of doing that. Anyway, other than that, performance is outstanding. Very smooth. Its top speed's not too bad. I think the top speed of these units is about 75, is it? I think it's 75. So it's decent speed, and it can crawl well as well. So that's moving. And it's like that in both directions. So that is fantastic. But yeah, so performance, absolutely brilliant. You know, I'd say 4.5, 5 stars for that. Anyway, we're going to get it running around the layout. I think we'll set it up this direction. So let's crack on. So, the Bachmann Class 150 DMU. I've got some overall ratings for it now. So, detail, I've scored this 3.5 out of 5. This is pretty good throughout the model, to be honest. There's a nice finish throughout and there's lots of separately fitted details. However, there are a few gripes like I mentioned earlier, these including the decoder being visible through the windows. And to be honest, the main gripe for me is that massive block where the motor is. This is unacceptable on a model of any price, let alone one that costs £325 RRP. I really hope in the future Bachmann will change this, because to me, as I say, it's just completely unacceptable. For mechanism then, I've scored this 5. There's not a lot I can fault with this. It's got 5-pole motor, full bearings, pickup on all wheels. So yeah, pretty good to me. Quality then, I have rated this 4.5 out of 5. The main gripes here are particularly the engine motor block, which I haven't let down on the quality too much because it hasn't impacted that. That's more a detail point. But it's things like the exhausts that don't go anywhere or whatever, stuff, little things like that. But other than that, the quality is absolutely brilliant. For performance then, I've rated this 4.5 out of 5. Very smooth, it's lost 0.5 of a mark there for the flickering lights in the dummy car, but other than that, absolutely fine. For value then, at RRP this would be something like 1.5, 2 stars. I've given this 3.5. This is purely down to the fact that I managed to pay £248 for mine, which is a pretty good price. That's about as much as I would pay for something like this. It's pretty good, it's very, very expensive as I said for what you get, especially considering Bachmann's more recently tooled Class 158 is better and also cheaper. Overall then, that gives a score of 8.4 out of 10, or 84%. As I said, pretty nice model. I would definitely recommend it if you're after a Class 150, but not for the RRP. Anything around £250 or less is an absolute steal, really. So yeah, that is my review of the Bachmann Class 150. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, share and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Until then, bye for now.